Okay, it's official. I am no longer sourcing my Amazon products from Alibaba.com. I am working 100% with US manufacturers. So this was not an easy process, which is why I wanted to make a video about it and show you guys exactly what I had to do, the painful moments, what not to do, what you should do, quick way to find these manufacturers, so that you, if you're interested, can start working and make a USA made product. So let's get into it. So just in case you weren't familiar with the process, this is how it would have worked in the past. You would go to Alibaba.com, you would type in the name of the product you're looking for, or just look for the general category of what you're looking for, find a manufacturer that can manufacture that product. Say you wanted to make like this soap holder out of wood, rustic soap holder. You'd contact the manufacturer directly. Within a few days, you would have worked out a quote, you would have got a shipping quote, you would have, inquired about custom packaging, you would have your cost, and you would either go, yes, I'm going to do this, or no. And if yes, they're going to start manufacturing it. They're going to send you a sample, etc. You're going to move on, and then 4 months later, you might have your product, right? And 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, you might have your sample because it's 8,000 miles away, depending on where you live. This is very far. These are Chinese companies. Almost all of them are going to be Chinese manufacturers. Alibaba.com is a Chinese company. So doing this is how I've done it for almost all of my career as an Amazon seller, right? I didn't really know any different until about 6 months ago when something changed. Now, I read a book called 12 Months to 1 Million. It's right there. It's blurry because of the f-stop on my camera. We're not going to get into that. I'm not going to pull it out because it's under a bunch of other books. But I read that book and it talked about primarily focusing on your customer, focusing on your brand, focusing on the quality of your product, focusing on solving an issue that your customer needs solved, not just looking at Amazon.com, looking at products that are already selling and then making the red version because there's no red version yet. Now, I have no affiliation to Ryan Moran or 12 Months to 1 Million, but I do think it's a great book and it kind of kicked me off in the right direction. It's actually recommended to me by a friend of mine who also sells on Amazon very successfully. Said, hey, you got to check this out. So I encourage you to do the same. Now, if we were to come over to Amazon and use the example that we started with on Alibaba of that rustic soap tray, we can see that there's going to be examples already of products that have differentiated themselves, that are slightly different than everyone else, and even that are making a pretty significant amount of money. So I've just pulled up a listing in a really cool tool here called X-Ray by Helium 10. It allows you to see the exact revenue of sellers on Amazon. So you can go look at any product on Amazon to figure out exactly how many sales per month they're making, what their sales previously have been, what their fees for selling on Amazon are. And this lets you work out things like what it might cost you to sell this product on Amazon and how many sales you might expect if you were to list a certain kind of product. Now we can see here this product makes $12,000 per month. This variation makes $17,000 per month. This variation makes $9,000. That's all in one listing, right? So on the outside, it looks like this seller is doing pretty good until we look a little bit further. Now this product is only selling for $8.59. Now, after shipping and sourcing this product from across the sea, all the way over in China, selling it here on US and getting your FBA fees, etc., you're probably making close to nothing. You might be making 10 or 15% on this product. Long story short, this is not a sustainable way to make money of just copying this listing, selling it, and then you sell it and you have to sell it for even less, right? Because they already have the social proof, they already have the listing. So that's kind of the downhill spiral that starts to happen, right? Someone sees that this is selling well, they do it again, it's a little bit cheaper, people start buying that one, so this one drops their price a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Then before you know it, almost all of that already to begin with small margin is pretty much gone. Factor in ads, you might even be losing money even though on the outside it looks like you're making money. And really quickly, before we get into it for the YouTube algorithm, please go ahead and gently tap the like button down below so that we can get this video ranked higher so more people like you can find it. Thanks so much, guys. It helps a lot. Now, the key component of building a brand is aligning yourself with that customer's story, right? They need to start believing in your brand and what you're working on actively so that they feel like they're part of that process, right? They are the kind of person that uses that kind of product, right? We see this all the time with people that wear certain brands of clothing. I myself know that I wear a lot of All Saints clothing and they kind of speak to my slightly edgy, slightly PNW, like dark wardrobe, and it works for taller, slimmer figures, right? So like I buy lots of their stuff, and like you can do that with coffee, and like maybe you always go to Starbucks and like you're just buying into their branding because you're the kind of person that does that kind of thing, right? You're busy, you're going to that quick stop coffee, or you're this kind of person, you're wearing this kind of clothes, right? That's what a branding essentially is. But when I go on Amazon and I just look up, right, like a like a money clip or something, I don't necessarily care which one it is. That's a single purchase, and I like to think of that as a transaction. It's not really an interaction with a brand, right? You might have bought their product, but you don't ever consider going back to them. You don't ever think about who that is. I mean, there's no logo on this. I don't even know what brand that is, etc. So what I wanted to touch on was how you can build that into your listings so that you can create listings that are completely adverse to downhill pricing and that you can rule your niche, right? The riches are in the niches. So in this case, we're looking at Bulletproof Coffee here. We see 24 pack of coffee pods. And if we were to pull up how much that pack is making, I can guarantee you it's making a lot of money. And guess what? It's $29. You're actually paying more than $1 per pod in that situation. They're making $73,000 per month with that specific product. Let me just go over and look at a 24 pack of compatible coffee pods. Now keep in mind, yeah, this isn't bulletproof, right? There's not the added things. You're gonna get, oh, well, that one's way better, so it's not fair. But just follow me for a second, right? Green Mountain, Amazon brand, etc. Don Francisco's. So a 24 pack is about $12, $12.35, $12.39, $12.74. Do you think it's a coincidence that they're all right in that same range? This one's $12.25, this one's $12.39, this one's $12.35, right? No, they're doing what I was saying. They're just going, our 24 pack's a little bit cheaper, a little bit better deal, a little bit less cost per pod. Bulletproof isn't playing that game. They don't care what Green Mountain is doing. They don't care what Amazon brand or all these generic brands are doing. They are simply making their high quality product that speaks to those athletic people, those performance-based people, getting them the perfect cup of coffee that's giving them everything that they're looking for: brain health, optimized performance, optimized focus, etc. And they will never drop their price, right? They might run a deal, and that's different, increase sales during a peak holiday or something, but they're not susceptible to the same kind of downhill pricing. And also, I can guarantee you this, they're not ordering coffee from China, right? Like they're not just like outsourcing everything and getting the cheapest possible stuff. No, they're actually making really high quality stuff, which allows them to charge a premium. So how would you do that, right? How would you start working on US based manufacturing? How would you start working on brand? How would you start working on any of that? Well, pick a specific customer that has a specific passion or an enthusiasm, whether that's towards performance in a specific sport, or whether that is towards reading, or whether that's towards growing plants. Whatever it is, the beautiful thing here is that that part doesn't matter. It just matters that there's the correct number of individuals spending a certain amount of money in an area that you can go in, solve a problem, or create a new, better design, focus on brand, make them a part of that community, make them a part of that story of that brand's growth. And then there you go, your product's positioned, they know who it is, they're tied into you and the values associated to your brand and your company, not just a transaction with one of your products. So let's move into how I sourced my products from the US and how I'm now working in a completely different way that isn't reliant on Amazon, that isn't reliant on Alibaba, that isn't reliant on worrying about all of my competitors and every move that they're making. Building a real brand with real value, with a real customer base where I can see the data of how big that audience is getting and how much progress we're making. Now, my journey with sourcing products from the USA started here. Now, keep in mind, this is not Alibaba.com. It's not easy, guys. Like, this took me months, like to the point where I was like, okay, we need to figure out what we're going to, I run this business with a business partner. I do calls several times a week that are hours and hours long. We're like doing this all the time. We're like, okay, we might not be able to do this. So keep in mind, this is difficult, and that's called a barrier to entry. Because this is difficult, because you're, going to be completely set up in the perfect position by having a supplier that, by the way, I've ordered samples now from 3 or 4 different suppliers here in the United States. All of them come for free. They just don't expect you to pay within 1 or 2 days. Like, I could not believe my eyes. We ended a conversation with a supplier on a Thursday, and by the end of Saturday or Sunday, that supplier is at my house ready for the next work week to analyze. So that's happened several times now. So speedy samples, speedy discussion. We're hopping on real Zoom calls with real people, talking about what we're trying to achieve, and they tell us exactly how they can help us. We're not spending late nights on Alibaba.com working through text where everything's always misconstrued and they're just trying to land the sale. So saying, yeah, we can do it. Place an order, and then a month goes by. Hey, nothing's been done. Oh, we need more time. Oh, actually, we can't do that thing. It's like, that is the opposite of what we're doing with US manufacturers. So using this website, you can type in, I would say, a specific style of the product you're looking for. I wouldn't type in rustic wooden tray like you would on Alibaba. I would type in something more like wooden tray or wooden dish, right? And then wooden servant trays. So you're looking more for a category because they're going to custom make your product. So the ability to work with wood in a custom way is maybe what we might be looking for. So right here, manufacturer of standard or custom turned carved decorative components made from oak, pine, blah, 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 blah. Handles, boxes, cases, containers. So we can go click through to their website and we can look at exactly what they're doing. So made to spec by Brownwood, manufacturing to spec, your single source American made custom wood components partner. So then we might go up here, look at their gallery of photos. And then if we like what we see, we go to contact us. And the thing that I would say is send the form through, look for an email on their page. If they have like they don't have an email here, you can probably find it in contact us somewhere. Give them a call too, right? Get on the phone with them and talk to them exactly about what you're doing. Or when you set up a form and it goes through and someone talks to you via email, ask them to set up a Zoom meeting. Say, hey, we have some stuff we want to go over. It's probably going to take us a while to shoot it all through email. Can we hop on a Zoom call with like your product development manager or something like that? And I'm sure they would be happy to do so. I've done that several times. Just had 2 calls last week with manufacturers from the United States talking about that very thing. Hey, can you do what we're trying to do? And even co-packers, and that's a whole different route. But long story short, start with Thomasnet. This is going to be your best bet to find a handful of companies that can do what you're looking for. I would do the same thing I did in the past where I'm taking templates, going to each supplier one by one, going contact us, reaching out to them, and then seeing if they can do what we can do. If they think they can, moving it to a Zoom call and working from there. If you can't find it on Thomasnet, Google works great too. So we can go like wooden manufacturers, wood product manufacturer, bulk custom wood products, wholesale manufacturer, wood manufacturers and suppliers in the USA. Okay, that's Thomasnet. Top 10 wood manufacturing companies in the USA. So you can go through here, look at lists. This is not easy. Like I said, this is barriers to entry. As soon as you figure this out and you do put in a month or, 3 weeks or maybe 2 months trying to find your perfect manufacturer. But once you lock that down, you are on just like a whole nother playing field from these people that are just going to Alibaba.com, ordering cheap products and trying to flip them. You have a real customer in mind. You know exactly what they want and you're custom making it from scratch here. No lead time, or virtually no lead time, like virtually no shipping time. They're making the things to spec. You're in the same time zone as your manufacturer. The shipping is so much cheaper and so much faster. You don't have to order in such huge amounts of quantities because you don't have to keep it in stock for as long because it doesn't take 80 days to get that product, etc. I think this is the way of the future. I personally, like I said, am not working with Alibaba suppliers anymore. I am specifically focused all on US-based manufacturers, actively doing it, like I said, right now. So if you're interested in more videos like this, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below about US manufacturing and any questions that you may have. Other than that, guys, I will see you in the next video. Thanks so much. Later.